Neveah heard the distorted voice of her wolf in her mind as the mind block sealed her away. "I'm sorry. Not yet. Not now," Neveah murmured quietly as she continued forwards. Neveah staggered through the forest, her hand gripping her injured side as she headed towards her quarters, taking a wide berth to avoid the Eclipse warriors. Neveah had taken a longer route to avoid the patrol teams, and after almost 2 hours of walking, she had finally arrived at the more desolated part of the Eclipse Palace. The Eclipse warriors were in a state of alert, scouring the entire forest, and Neveah was grateful for the ability to conceal her scent. As Neveah came up to the castle doors, the feeling of relief that had been spreading in her heart was immediately cut short when she picked up a familiar scent. "Omega," he said, in that cold, loathing tone with which he always addressed her. Neveah's hands trembled slightly, but she quickly curled them into fists, lifting her gaze up to fix on the object of her childhood nightmares. Prince Alessio. "Your Grace," Neveah greeted, lowering her head to a bow. His forest green orbs roved over her state of dress, or rather, the lack of it, and his gaze narrowed into a deep frown. "You go around gallivanting in the forest during such an emergency, leaving your quarters dressed so indecently. And whose tunic are you even wearing?" Prince Alessio snapped in a low, deadly tone. Neveah cut herself off, swallowing down whatever words she had intended to say, knowing whatever she said at this point would only spur on his anger. Although usually, Neveah would still speak without a care for this, goading him until his anger flared, pinning her against a wall with a fury that stole the air from her lungs. But this time, the pain in Neveah's side was becoming unbearable, and Neveah just needed whatever Prince Alessio had planned for her to be done and over with as soon as possible. "Speak, Omega," Prince Alessio ordered, his tone leaving no room for arguments.
"I went out for some air after the ball. Father sent me back, but I ended up going the wrong way and lost my way. I only made it back after hours of wrong tries."
"I don't know who this tunic belongs to. My dress was too tight. I ripped it off and changed into this, Your Grace," Neveah explained in a low, submissive tone, her head bowed low. This was against Neveah's personality, but she knew only if she acted like this would Prince Alessio be calm enough to leave without hurting her. "By Father's orders, you shall address me as kin. I do not like it any more than you do, but we are out in the open, and there are hundreds of foreign guests on Eclipse Palace grounds," Prince Alessio said. Neveah bit her lip, unwilling to address Prince Alessio as her brother, but she knew he was not asking, and he was not wrong. Those were exactly their father's orders. And truly, Neveah knew Prince Alessio hated it. But if there was one thing about the cold, unfeeling Eclipse Prince, it was the fact that he would never disobey the orders of his father, Alpha King Lothaire. "Yes, brother," Neveah murmured quietly. "Why do you smell of blood?" he asked. Neveah's eyes widened slightly, but she was quick to comport herself. It's my time of the month," Neveah replied. "Yet you move about dressed like that? Do you mean to entice my men with such a display?" "They would not stoop so low, Omega," Prince Alessio said in a tone of distaste. Neveah bit her lip, her fists clenching even tighter, and it took every ounce of self-control to restrain herself from blowing up at him. "Father is too occupied, seeing to the present crisis and calming the guests. I come to ensure you know not to cause him any trouble at this time. His protection is, after all, the only thing keeping you alive," Prince Alessio stated. "I know my place. I will not overstep," Neveah replied, her head still bowed. "Lift your head. Do not make it seem like I am bullying you yet. I have not had the free time to tame your tongue recently. Give me this attitude when I do," Prince Alessio said. Neveah took a deep breath in as she lifted her gaze up to him. "Retire to your quarters and remain within till you are told otherwise. Your governess was compromised. Mother will send you a new attendant to take her place for a time," Prince Alessio continued. Neveah nodded slowly, but gasped when Prince Alessio's hand darted out, his grip on her throat a cold, suffocating pressure. "What did I tell you about using your words, Omega?" Prince Alessio asked, his eyes flashing dangerously as his wolf rose to the surface. Neveah did not bother clawing at his hands, even as she gasped for air. She had learned from experience that would only let him tighten his grip. Dark spots danced across her vision as her injured side throbbed painfully. Neveah waited it out as long as she could, but as she felt herself grow lightheaded, she finally gave in. "Forgive me," Neveah croaked out in between gasps, and Prince Alessio sneered before he loosened his grip, letting Neveah take deep, desperate breaths in. "As stubborn as always, yet in the end, you have no choices but to submit." "My words were clear enough?" Prince Alessio asked in a dark tone. "Yes, brother. Crystal," Neveah replied when she finally caught her breath. Prince Alessio hummed in thought as he dropped his hand back down to his side. Just as Prince Alessio opened his mouth to speak again, a voice called out to Neveah. "Vea, there you are! I was so worried!" the dashing young male exclaimed, and Neveah turned around, surprised to see Lucas Farleston, son of the Alpha of Eclipse Claw Pack. Neveah let out an exhausted sigh as he jogged over to her. All she wanted to do at this moment was rest, but clearly the universe had other plans for her. "Vea, I heard of the intruder. All the visiting packs were asked not to interfere, but I was so worried. I had to come out in search of you," Lucas said as he arrived before Neveah. His gaze roved over her, just as Prince Alessio's had, and his face reddened in embarrassment at her sparse clothing, a hand lifting to scratch the back of his neck awkwardly. "Oh, you are prepared for bed, I see. It's good to know you are safe," Lucas murmured with a small smile. "This is Eclipse Fang. Naturally, she would be safe," Prince Alessio interrupted. Lucas's attention turned to Prince Alessio, seeming to just take notice of him. He lowered his head to a bow.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.